to Anime Death Spiral, the only anime podcast kept in a secret underground facility where the government uses our mind powers to predict anime crimes of the future.
It's a red ball. That means another incest rom-com. We better roll out.
Blue means sports anime, green for isekai. We are kept in, like, I don't know. How do you find your little, like, floating pool thing? I've never done the sensory deprivation tank, but I feel like it'd be pretty much analogous experience, right? Like, that's what they were doing.
I asked for jacuzzi jets, so it's working out pretty well for me. This is nice. This is really nice.
They got pissed at me one time. I brought a bath bomb in here with me, and that fucked up the whole thing. It was not pretty.
Oh, you're gonna clog the filter. Yeah, you can't do that. You need to keep the flow going there.
You know, all of my predictions were just Gyaru rom-coms for like a week.
Well, yeah, you know, the colored bath bombs, they dye the balls, and then you can't tell. Like, you can't tell the original colors.
It just turns it into like a gray, green, brown soup after a while.
Yeah, these are all brown. The color of Gyaru. Yeah, you know, it's just you got to be careful because it gets so comfy in here. Sometimes I just slip into a nice restful slumber. And then every time one of these black balls gets through, they dock my pay again. We
have a quota. We have to produce a certain amount of groundbreaking popular anime each season. The last couple we were real iffy. They're pissed at us right now, which is why we've really upped the game for this coming season. Because boy, is there stuff to look forward to still.
Yeah, I asked them finally to replace the bingo ball system with an actual touchscreen. You know, something we can actually read. It's gonna really up productivity, I think. Whenever they release a new like edgelord revenge anime, I'm gonna catch it immediately.
The bingo ball system is such a weird. Do you think that was Minority Report? Was that Arthur C. Clarke? Was that one of his?
Arthur C. No. Minority Report was that was Philip K. Dick.
That was Dick?
Yeah.
That was Big Swingin' Dick himself?
Yeah, who else could possibly be that paranoid besides fucking meth snorting Philip K.
I was thinking the bingo ball system with the whole prediction thing, the precogs. It's such like a weird authorial like inflection, you know. It makes no sense other than just being stylistic, right?
Well, I never read the original story. That maybe that was just for the movies. I really don't know.
No, I'm pretty sure it's in the original story.
Yeah.
I feel it's one of the things that. Why else include it in the movie? Something like that, because it's objectively ridiculous. You know, they make fun of it in so many things. If I was doing an adaptation of Minority Report, which nobody has asked me yet, I'm waiting on that call. But when I do get to do my multi-million-dollar high-budget remake of Minority Report, I'm going to get rid of the ping pong balls. I want to do something like, I don't know, they show up
Tinker
on
tape?
Apple. Yeah, I was going to say Apple Watches on a pager.
Apple Watch.
Yeah,
on
an Apple pager.
wearable biometrics. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, they made the anime Minority Report, right? Did you ever watch that?
No, I didn't.
It's called Psycho-Pass.
Oh, never mind. I did watch the first episode of that and bounced off it so hard.
I hate Psycho-Pass because, the idea was that Minority Report was good, actually.
Yeah, what if Minority Report was actually cool?
But it was good that they did that?
Killing people for crimes they haven't committed yet is actually like a great moral imperative that is necessary for the thriving of the nation.
Yeah. I mean, I will just, in fairness, I don't feel particularly like I need to be fair to Psycho-Pass because I do think it's bad. And the animation in the first season's pretty bad, so, like, what's the deal? And their guns are stupid, like, really stupid guns. And the whole, like, having to work with criminals is just, oh, God, it's so bad. But I do believe the entire Psycho-Pass premise gets interrogated as the series goes on. So It's not quite as awful as it could be, but it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. In Minority Report, the whole idea, of course, is that Philip K. Dick is so insanely paranoid due to the age he lived in and the amount of fucking methamphetamines that passed through his brain, that he had severe mental disorders that led to paranoid behavior. But his entire premise is that eventually the government is going to come up with absolutely bullshit reasons to just oppress people. That's the entire thing. But in Psychopaths, the idea is that actually oppressing people is probably a good idea, but it has to be done by virtuous people.
Yes, the Platonian god philosopher king theory, right?
Well, it's just those pure of heart have the ability to judge others.
Well, that was the whole idea behind Republic, right? Is that humans need to be oppressed to somewhat of a degree in order to maintain society, and if that has to be the case, then we may as well make sure that the people that we are giving absolute power to are some kind of benevolent, educated, paternal figure that definitely isn't going to be corrupted by all of that unchecked power because they're just so smart and good-hearted by nature.
Yeah, I think you can sum up all of Plato's Republic in 2 sentences for sure. Yeah.
I just did. Yo, what? Come at me, people. Come at me.
Fucking college boy over here. Yeah, I read the Leviathan. What do you think about that?
Does that have anything to do with the upcoming ONA in summer called Leviathan?
God, I don't know. We'll have to find out.
Oh wait,
it's coming out soon.
Wait, I'm getting a vision. Something's coming to me right now. Oh God, I see Netflix doing a U.S. produced adaptation of Berserk. Oh man, this is a blackball day. This is not good.
Dispatch hit agents immediately. We must kill Adi Shankar before this is allowed to happen.
He's already ruined Devil May Cry, according to all of those racists online.
Yeah, man. It really, I think I've said this before in other episodes, but it really sucks when you have to agree with the fucking racists on something. It just feels really bad.
Oh no, I encounter that all the time. With that that interview that Tucker Carlson just did with Ted Cruz, where he clowns all over him for wanting to bomb Iran.
Yeah. Why do I have to be on the side of people that are just truly fucking awful? And in our Platonic Republic would be hanged in the public square. For thought crime.
Anime thought crimes. That's the name of this show now. Anime thought crimes.
It really should be, because we are just condemning people for thought crimes left and right. And we are virtuous, like the pure justice-hearted teenage girl cops in Psychopaths. We're just like them.
But I am referring to Adi Shankar, producer of the Castlevania Netflix series and the Devil May Cry, and Captain Laserhawk, which I did not watch, but I guess was like an Ubisoft spoof thing.
That was the Far Cry DLC pack, the 80s throwback.
Yeah, the Blood Dragon
action
guy.
Yeah.
But Rayman was also in it. So
Rayman's cool. I love that.
Rayman is cool. He doesn't have arms or legs. He just has hands and feet. That's cool.
That's cool. I think that's really cool.
He fights robot pirates in the N64 game. That was really cool.
He fucking invented the minions.
Yeah, rabbits are just minions, aren't they?
Yes, Rabbids were the first minions, and they just ripped off Rabbids to make the minions. I'm pissed.
Why did we never have a Mario plus Minions Olympics minigame?
Because we had Mario versus Rabbids. That was a thing. And it was like an XCOM tactics game.
What?
You have no memory of this.
I remember the Mario and Rabbids game. That's what I was referencing. I didn't know it was an XCOM Tactics game.
Yeah, it's an XCOM Tactics game where they shoot lasers at each other. That's
awesome. That might be the greatest game pitch ever made.
Yeah, it was a 3DS game, I think. It's kind of great. It's a shame that the Minions stole the Rabbids thunder, because we might have had a truly incredible Rabbids run through society.
Well, there's still a lot of Francophobia post 9/11 going around America. We just can't fully get behind anything created by Ubisoft or their snail-eating compatriots at this point.
But Illumination Studios is French.
Is that right?
Yeah. Minions are also French guys.
Oh, shit. This is a revelation. Minions are French.
Yeah.
Is that why no one can understand them in those movies?
I think that was an intentional choice to mask the Frenchness of it all. It's the same thing why they got Steve Carell.
Listen, Minions are French, but they're Quebecois French. So, not
so nobody
really
can understand them.
Yeah, nobody understands them.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I was talking about Adi Shankar, producer for the Castlevania, Netflix, Devil May Cry. We talked a little bit about both of those before. He put out a tweet last week, I think, basically saying that he has his eyes set on doing a Berserk adaptation in the future. He's
trying to will it into existence by tweeting about it, which is actually has kind of a pretty good hit rate in our hell society. Well,
not just in our society in general, but for him. That's exactly what he did with Devil May Cry, and then he ended up getting that. Back when I think they did the second season of the Netflix Castlevania, he put out a promo picture of him cosplaying as Dante. And he's like, "This is up next, bros. I got the big red leather jacket. I got a sword. We're doing it. We're doing Devil May Cry." And then 8 years later, it finally came out. So
horrifying.
It may happen, but maybe we do have a little bit of a buffer period in between now and then.
I think that would actually cause Japan to go full nationalist if that happened. If an American company fucked up the Berserk anime.
Netflix Berserk causes the second rise of the Japanese empire.
Yeah, they would shut down the American military bases because of that. Yeah. They'd be like, "That's it. That is it. No more America."
I mean, they are already this close to doing that right now. I don't know if you can sense the general political overtones going on with everything they're releasing right now, but you watched that Konami direct about the upcoming Silent Hill games, right?
Yeah. Yes, I did. And they're
hey, everybody, so Silent Hill, we're doing more of it. We're doing another Silent Hill game. Silent Hill is in Japan now. It's Japanese. Silent Hill's not American anymore. We're doing it in Japan. It's ours. Fuck you, Sam Barlow.
I was kind of in shock after watching that Konami Direct or whatever they call it, and just having them fully just say, "Yeah, time to bring Silent Hill home as a real Japanese production with Japanese people in it in Japan," and the entire time going, "Well, it was set in Silent Hill. That was the entire hook. There's not too much more to Silent Hill than it being in Silent Hill."
I think that's what they're trying to say, though, is that whereas previously Silent Hill has been set up, at least in the first and third game, as a specific place in America that people go to that may have some kind of spiritual presence, anomaly to it that, draws in those with trauma or a dark past or what have you. The interpretation that some of the games were starting to lean towards was that Silent Hill is more of a metaphysical place, a conglomeration of aspects of Americana, and people get transported to this otherworldly town that doesn't kind of exist in the normal state of being, which I find less interesting. I think Silent Hill being a town-ass town that you go to is a little bit more interesting, That's what they lean to in the movies, right? Silent Hill is like a place.
Yeah, it is a place. It's a horrible manifestation of Appalachia. That's kind of what it is. Oh, Appalachia. Like Apollonia. Yeah. It just reminded me of the thing I talked about, the Asuka voice actress tweeting that thing about how Japan is being like devoured by invasive species, I think is the exact words that she used.
Yeah.
That invasive species, of course, being tourists and foreigners. Which is so wild. Oh, man.
I mean, I generally, lean away from that kind of mentality, jingoistic, nationalistic, kind of protectionist.
It's not great.
But at the same time, I can't blame them in the face of an Adi Shankar Berserk show. I don't know. It's a complicated issue, folks. Especially since, and I don't know if this was him like trying to be very tongue-in-cheek about it. His specific tweet about doing Berserk was, and this is the text, was Berserk equals mine, lore equals changed, guts equals Adi Shankar self-insert. And I honestly cannot tell if he was joking or if he is being 100% sincere with that assertion. I also don't want to think about the overarching implications of what he wants to change about like Berserk lore or the cosmology of how everything works. I'm not exactly sure what he thinks he's going to do better there.
I don't think that thought exists. I think it's just, I want to do what I want to do.
I want to make Berserk fan fiction.
Yeah.
Which is like basically what he's been doing with Castlevania and Devil May Cry, which I'm not against. I want to be upfront. I'm not against fan fiction. I'm not against reinterpretations.
Oh, I am.
Well, we both know that's not true. Oh, look at me. I'm Remy. I'm going to be a little absurdist when it comes to stuff like this. Come on, man. Don't bullshit me.
I don't sound like that.
Yeah, no, I'm Remy. I sound like this.
That's not how I sound.
I go to the gym all the time. Oh, I need protein.
That's not how I sound like. I don't sound like that. That's not how I sound like.
Hey, I've said it before. Basically, the only things that should be adapted are bad things. So you can really make them your own. Like, I think that is the sweet spot. Mm-hmm. I think Castlevania is fine to adapt because, like, who fucking cares? Like, the vaunted Castlevania story. If Warren Ellis wants to come in and be like, well, I'll just make up a story for Castlevania. Like, who fucking cares? Who gives a shit? Devil May Cry. People care a lot more about that story than I do. So I realize why people are more mad about that one. But again, it's Devil May Cry. I mean, what the story is that he like has a cool sword. Who cares?
Okay, well, to be fair, we did kind of figure out that a lot of what people didn't like about the Devil May Cry adaptation was mostly that it was woke. I don't know if you remember that, but it was actually super woke. Because
it was really woke.
They paid lip service
woke
to the idea of open borders and immigration like being a good thing.
Yeah. They still portrayed foreign people as demons, but that's, you know what, it's still too woke.
I don't know. I'm just hating. I'm just hating at this point.
I'm hating. I'm just asking, please, can we please not kill Miura again?
Like, can we not dig him up and stab him twice? No, it's like vampires, dude. It's not just the stake in the heart. You gotta dig him up and set the head on fire afterward.
It's just, it's like there's a reason. I think a lot of people miss the point of like the reason we haven't gotten even like a hint of another Berserk anime after all these years is because 2016 went down so badly and embarrassed so many people that like real, actual, serious people in studios are afraid and skeptical of ever touching the project again.
I mean, there are a multitude of reasons why I think a Berserk anime in general, regardless of who it's made by, is maybe just not, like, it's not a great idea to begin with, you know? I don't like the word unfilmable, but Berserk has been going on so long, and the story that it tells is adapted to the format in which it was told in such a specific way that trying to make it into a coherent series of episodes or movies is a fool's game. Like, Berserk is Berserk. It is... Berserk is a manga. That is its true form. I don't think that any anime or movie that you do at this point is going to do it justice. I just don't think... I think it's going to be too expensive, it would be too long, and it would take too long to make in general. I just don't think it can be done.
Sorry, I will continue defending the movie trilogy. I think they're great. I think they do a really good job. They're good. And they're better than the fucking 90s shit, like, by far.
Oh.
I don't know why people are so, like, blinded to that. I think nostalgia, again, is one of the most powerful fucking drugs there is in modern culture. And millennials particularly are so susceptible to it. I don't know why we're so susceptible to it. Maybe because our lives got so fucking bad, like, after 2008.
I mean, it's part of it. I think another part is that we're the first generation that really grew up with the collective conscious of the internet. You know, this idea that all available human information is basically, it's destined to be uploaded to the internet at some point.
Sure. We have a Tower of Babel that we can just slip into and reintegrate into the past.
You know, I think that before the advent of the information superhighway, as Al Gore used to put it,
surfing the web, you had to go into very niche direction of research to, like, find old music, specific genre music, stories, books, whatever. You had to go out and find it. You had to know what you were looking for. God, you had to go to a record store. Can you imagine?
I cannot imagine. I cannot.
And even sometimes even a used one.
I know. You had to talk to somebody behind a counter if you can't find what you're looking for.
You had to ask a guy a question. Oh, God.
We grew up in an era where not only were we looking forward to stuff coming out, but, you know, we had this, like, giant pile of stuff in the past that we can draw on as well super easily. You know, it was a joke from Community, but I feel like it applies to me more and more every day. One of the characters says, like, I was a very nostalgic child from an early age. Like, yeah, that's me. I grew up, you know, watching cartoons from the 80s while also being enamored by anime coming in on Adult Swim. So I feel like we're just prone to nostalgia that way.
Awful. It does nobody any favors. It is truly mind poison. It is, nostalgia is the mind killer. Like, it truly is. Just an absolute, like, thought terminator.
It's the true Gomcha bar.
It's bad. It's bad. And thus why everybody's wrong about Berserk and the movies are good and the original anime is only just okay. Though it does circle around to my opinion on Star Wars, wherein John Williams is the only reason people like Star Wars, and the Guts theme is the only reason people like original Berserk. It's just true. It's true, people.
It's pretty kick-ass, though. It's like it's a pretty good track.
Oh, it's fucking great. It's like, really great.
It's real hype.
The one thing I think is that they don't capture in the movie trilogy is the theme they use is just, like, not quite good enough. It never comes close to the Guts theme. It just is not as good.
All right, let's not get bogged down in the past or the far future. Let's instead kind of narrow our scope to the near future, because we still got some summer 2025 premieres coming out.
Yeah, in fact, some are incredibly near, like in 2 days.
Like, it's right around the corner, folks. Summer 2025 anime is here. It's starting now. In fact, it's already started because I've seen the first 3 episodes of Dan in a movie theater.
Oh, shit. Here it comes.
I know. I went and I did the thing. I paid down hard cash money in front of a greasy teen at a theater in Seattle so that I could go see the Dan Evil Eye presentation, which is the amalgamation of the first 3 episodes of season 2, plus basically like the second half of the last episode of season 1. They just threw that in there unchanged, you know. They didn't even try and like blend it in. It's literally cold start halfway through the episode, fade to black where the credits should have been, and then we start in on the new stuff.
They
which
do
is great.
love a previously on.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think you need me to tell you that Dan is still cool. It still looks awesome. I love it. I love those characters. I love the Evil Eye. I think that they're doing some real cool stuff with the colors that they chose to theme everybody around. You know, I don't know if it's easy for you to like imagine color and stuff when you're reading manga in black and white. I never think about it when I'm just reading it on the page. And so I'm the one always getting surprised when they do the anime adaptation and going like, oh, they decided to go with that color for that person's hair. That's not what I was expecting.
It's almost always hair because we talked about hair way back when. Like the people that they choose to give pink hair is always surprising to me. Like, oh, she's got pink hair, huh? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure. I didn't think of her as a pink hair, but all right, fine.
Well, they did that with Ira for me in the first season. I, for some reason, had construed her as either a white hair or a platinum blonde hair in my head when I was reading it. And then, you know, the anime came out and like, oh, they went with pink for her. I guess that makes sense. It ended up being a pretty iconic decision for that character. For others, I'm still, like, you know, surprised about. This one, I had no problem getting behind the decisions they made because I guess whoever was directing you know, the colors in these episodes decided that their main inspiration was going to be gamer lights, which is cool and awesome and futuristic. I love me some RGB gamer lights, and they just kind of threw them everywhere in here. It was fucking awesome.
Sure. By gamer lights, you mean, is that similar to the dead lights?
Yeah, you know, I looked up at the screen and I saw my greatest fear and my soul was sucked out into another dimension. And then by the end of the movie, I was kind of like a withering husk of what a human should look like, but was obviously an abomination in the eyes of God. But, you know, that might have been a pre-existing condition before I went into the movie.
I think that's just the mark of a truly good film and a cinematic experience, is you just come out completely drained. Just all vital essence gone.
Mm-hmm. Go see Dan if you haven't yet. If it's still available to you, it's awesome. It's fun to look at. They do some cool interviews with the season director and the intro and like ending credit director, who's a French guy, actually. I was surprised to find out.
I told you, man, they're getting in there.
They're getting in
there.
You know, they do an interview with both of those guys before and after the presentation, and that's pretty interesting to just hear them talk about their inspirations and their process for making stuff. Highly recommend. I will say, real quick before moving on, one piece of criticism is that it is very, very obviously not a movie. It is 3 episodes just shown together back to back without credits. I don't know how they formatted that in the Gundam movie, in G-Cux, when you went to go see it. If that was like super obvious, but in this one, it's like, it's just the episodes. And they end on like such a weird note. It's like a very tension-filled cliffhanger that if you didn't know that this was just a preview for the season going in, it would leave you very confused on why the movie is ending there.
Yeah. Gundam was much smoother. You did not get that feeling too much. There's a nice through line continuity there. I think probably because they rearranged a lot of stuff in the 3 episodes that they smushed together. But it felt pretty good.
So yeah, Dan to Dan, Science Saru, keep up the good work. I'm loving it. Moving on to what else we got in summer 2025, Remy. What are you looking forward to with your precog's eye?
My precog eye swivels forward into the future and gazes at what will be and what will come to pass. We talked about some of them already. Some of them we don't even need to mention, like Hanako-kun. I'll just continually harping on that one.
Yeah.
But we've got some that are very much worth mentioning. This next season is featuring a lot of stuff that I haven't read, which is like really good for me. That's very exciting. So I guess I'll start with the ones that I have read.
Okay.
And am excited about, because one of the short series that is premiering, next week, is Taco P's Original Sin. Do you remember me talking about this?
Yes, I do remember you talking to me.
Oh, man.
I knew you'd be looking forward to this one.
I am very much looking forward to this one. You know, this is one of those things that is weird to me because I really, really do not like what turned out to be a very big manga genre right now, which is essentially like misery porn. A lot of like, oh, look at all this like child abuse. Like, oh, cool. That's a story. It borrows a lot of gravitas and profundity from just the concept of like bad things happen in the world. And I've always found that to be an incredibly disingenuous thing to just base your narrative around. Like it is sort of ideologically bankrupt to just lean on that as an entire premise for a thing.
Well, you know, it's a bit of a low blow, right? It's, for lack of a better word, it is just edginess. It's borrowing, like you say, borrowing gravitas just from the fact that it's controversial.
Yeah, and it tends to never have any actual point. So I'm always confused by my own personal preferences when I end up liking something that really rides that line, like Taco P's Original Sin, which was written by Tyson 5, who a little while ago ended their shonen run of Ichino's Family's Deadly Sins, which I talked about a little bit, which I really liked as well. I really like their artwork. It's very unique and original. I hope that they can capture it in anime form. But this is a short story about an alien from Happiness Planet descending to Earth to find that children are not very happy, and making children happy can sometimes be very difficult, even if you have happy powers from the planet Happiness.
You know, I'm so glad that this author is finally doing what Don Bluth did in American children's cartoons like 40 years ago in the 80s.
Yeah, it really kind of is. It's cute in a different way than Don Bluth would have taken it, but you know what? It is kind of playing in the same ballpark.
All Dogs Go to Heaven, Secret of Nim. We're Back, about the dinosaurs. You remember that one?
Oh yeah, of course.
All of these are about abused children, or animals in the case of Nim, finding magical solace in some kind of like savior figure or quest, right?
Yeah, I think the subversion here would be that our little happy alien, he's a little kind of like a cartoon squid looking dude. He turns out to not be a savior. He doesn't understand why everything he does doesn't work to make anybody happy. Like, he keeps trying and eventually realizes that like it's actually way harder and more complicated to do good things and good deeds in the world than Happiness Planet led him to believe. And that's what I really like about this. It is not just like misery porn. It is a blend of somebody who is genuinely trying to do the right thing, getting caught in the complications and miseries of real life situations, which puts it a little bit apart from Don Bluth stuff, where there is kind of like actual magical things happening that like change people's lives. Whereas in this case, sometimes like magical things actually just complicate people's lives, you know?
Boy, is that
and
ever
not
true.
Really, yeah, not in really good things. So I'm fascinated that somebody decided to do this as like an actual anime. It sounds insane to me if you told me this when I originally read this manga, but I'm really excited about it. I wonder if this will hit. I really wonder. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. It's gonna be a hard fought audience, I think, in the West. Maybe we'll see.
We will see.
Let's go through all the ones that are based off of stuff you haven't read first. What else is on here?
Okay, I mean, that is really, let's see, out of everything left, there's not really anything else besides Deki no Mogura that I've read. Deki no Mogura is something I read a little bit of, but the only translation I could ever find was very bad, so I kind of never went too far into the series, but I did really like it. It is sort of another entry in the people contending with urban legends in a modern setting kind of thing. You know, I've talked about quite a few of these at this point, right? Mm-hmm. It's kind of a thing right now.
Yeah, the yokai. We've talked about it a little bit. Why yokai seem to be having a resurgence as like a thematic center in a lot of manga and anime coming out, and not just yokai, but like urban legend type stuff.
Urban legends.
Yeah,
the slit mouth woman. Mm-hmm. Everybody loves the slit mouth woman.
Well, I mean, they're basically anything you can think of. They've done in Dan to Dan at this point. Slit mouth woman, the animated anatomical doll. That's my favorite.
Yep. I like that rom-com about the guy dating the slit mouth woman. Do you read that?
I feel like there's been a lot of those.
There's one in particular that I read that I thought was truly bizarre. This one is kind of in that vein. These two college kids bump into a very strange dude who seems to constantly have a concussion for some reason, which I think is really funny.
Oh, that's not good. That's how you get CTE.
Yeah, he basically does have CTE. He constantly wanders around getting concussions, and they kind of are like, is he gonna die? Should we like help him? Don't go to sleep tonight, man. I think you're not well. And so whenever he talks about being like a sage who can like do magical shit, they're like, oh, he really does have brain damage. Oh God. But then it turns out he does. He actually does. He both has brain damage and is a sage. So that's cool. I like that concept a lot. And points, of course, because everybody's an adult.
Oh, thank God. Maybe we should just make a separate list of all the anime coming out that is just about adults at this point.
We should just make a list that is anime with adults.
Be on the lookout for that. Okay. What else we got coming out? This one was kind of interesting that you put down here, and I was looking at it as well. Necronomico no Cosmic Horror Show.
How could you not want to watch a show with that name? Come on, that's a great name.
It's a great title. From what I can tell, this seems to be another entry in the rising genre of characters who aspire to be like social media influencers. Like that's just a genre now. It seems to be the character motivation on so many things.
Yes.
Like there was that vampire one. Actually, there was a couple vampire ones about vampires that wanted to be YouTubers. It's popping up all over the place in these trash rom-coms I'm reading.
There's so many, like, I want to be a Twitch streamer or anime girl puppeteers that I despise so much.
Yeah.
VTubers.
HoloLive? Yeah, VTubers.
Yeah, like HoloLive, VTubers. I hate VTubers. I'm sorry, guys.
A couple seasons ago, there was an
despise them.
anime where the entire like premise was anime idol girls go to school, like a specialized academy to be VTubers.
That's a hat on a hat. They're already anime girls. What what the fuck? Awful.
Real awful.
The thing I'm really hoping for Nekonomiko no Cosmic Horror Show is that this sort of like VR game thing that they play, it ends up being a sort of a Sword Art Online but horror themed. I'm really hoping that that's the case.
You think that this has potential to turn into like maybe a death game?
I'm really hoping for it, because you know what, as stacked as we've constantly said this season seems to be, not a lot of death games.
Unfortunately not. I know that's gonna irk you a little bit. It hits me with a little less intensity, but we could all use more death games in our life. I'll say it.
I want more. I know Squid Game is coming back, and that's like, okay, that's fine. I've made my peace with Squid Game. What I do like about this, though, is that this is an original, not based on a manga.
Okay.
We've got a couple originals on this list. This is one of them. Always love to see it. You love to see it.
You love to see it, folks. Speaking of original... Oh, never mind. I thought that this was original, but there's a light novel associated with it. I take that back.
Oh, you got punked.
I got punked. No, based off of the light novel series, we've got Busamen Gachi Fighter. You're familiar with this one, right?
Yes, this is truly one of the most unfortunate premises I've ever seen for one of these stupid fucking isekais.
Okay, so imagine, dear listener, you get isekai'd to an amazing fantasy world where you're the hero and the world bends to your whim, except that instead of getting a cool like isekai power or magic system or anything like that, your thing is that you're ugly.
You're not just ugly, you're Pig God from One Punch Man.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're a butterface, bro. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
It's not a butterface because it's not. He also has a bad body. It's a butter everything.
I really have no background with this at all, but my assumption is that it is going to be played pretty straightforward. That now, actually, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
I'm making a prediction here. Do you think that he was ugly before going into the isekai, or was he a sexy guy?
No. The premise originally, and I don't know much about the light novel, but I do remember when this was being talked about before. The premise is that he starts off as like a normal guy, normal-ish. He's sort of like a misogynist, and then he becomes ugly in return for stat boosts when he gets isekai.
Oh,
so like he gains like 100 free levels because he becomes ugly. So he is now horribly ugly. But the most powerful. I think still a misogynist, seems like.
Yeah, no, well, okay, this is like almost a personification of that current day misogynist inclination of like the argument that like, hey, society tells me that I should feel bad about myself for being a man, so I'm just going to be the worst man possible to prove them right. Or some kind of thing. You know what I'm talking about? It's all I'm the Joker baby rhetoric.
Well,
fucking,
it's like
fucking Joker pilled.
It is a little Joker pilled, but it's also like a guy who gets quote unquote betrayed by women. Women are all devious schemers.
Well, in the synopsis, it says that he was wrongly convicted of a crime, which causes him to lose his faith in women.
Yeah, I don't really know anything about that. I don't know about a crime or anything, but I know it's like one of those things where like women are devious schemers and they've ruined his life because you can't trust them. You know, they're always doing something. Those women.
So, I mean, the classic character arc for this kind of guy would be he gets isekai'd, he gets his amazing free levels, becomes an awesome warrior at expense of, being an uggo. And through the course of his journey, he learns that his opinions are wrong, right? He comes into contact with women and that causes him to reevaluate his biases, his prejudices. Do you think that maybe he's just not going to do that in this? I feel like this is set up to be one of those things where it may, in fact, validate his decision overall. Yeah, I feel like maybe making him a fighter god in exchange for hating women is maybe not a great message.
I mean, we'll see. Again, I don't know much about it past that premise. This feels to me on my gut, I feels like one of the things where he decides to be a good guy even though he doesn't like women, and even when he starts doing good things and being recognized by that before the women, he just goes well, I just can't bring myself to believe that they're being sincere with me, so I'll just keep them at arm's length. And then, he just kind of proceeds from there in a traditional isekai fashion. In my gut, that tells me what's going to happen here.
Okay. We'll see.
I guess I'll never find out because I'm definitely not watching this.
You
can take this one.
I'm going to give the first episode at least a try just to see if it confirms my biases.
Yeah.
One that I'm actually looking forward to a little bit in this coming season, I think it's coming out at the end of July, is Bad Girl. I watched the trailer for this, and it seems to be... This is based off of manga that I have not read, but I looked at the premise, and I thought it was, at least funny sounding, so I'll give it a shot. It's another... You remember me telling you about that manga that I've been reading called No Gyaru in this classroom?
Yes. Yeah, the posers.
Yeah, posers. It's kind of a setup on similar grounds. It's a classroom comedy about a quote unquote classic bad girl, like a motorcycle Bosuzoku type, punk leather jacket girl. A delinquent.
Yeah.
And they're doing that same thing that they did in Mane Mane Nichi Nichi, where delinquent is more of a moniker that has been imposed on her by the rest of her class instead of reflecting who she actually is. So they are judging her by her fashion sense, and they think that she's like a badass delinquent girl when actually she's a big softie. And then...
Yeah, the opposite of Horimiya.
Yeah. Yes. And then the added bit on top of this is that the secondary main character is a fangirl of hers in the class who buys into the delinquent attitude and aspires to also be a delinquent like her senpai.
Oh, so they're gay.
Oh yeah, no, it's Yuri. It's Yuri stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, cool.
Cool.
No, I think that sums it up. It's Yuri.
Okay.
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah. All right. Sure. Yeah. Why not? I love the idea that simply having piercings and dyed hair is enough for people to be like, oh shit, she must be a badass. It's just one of those Japanese things that it's one of those culture clash things that I always find very funny.
And then, they're clip-on piercings, so you can take them off when you go to your convenience store job at the end of shift.
Yeah. Which you definitely have because all delinquents work at 7-Eleven.
Hey, sometimes you work at 7-Eleven, sometimes you join a sweet motorcycle gang. It can go either way. But yeah, I don't know. I like that setup. I think that that's cute. And I compared to a lot of other classroom comedy type setups, like the girl I like keeps losing her glasses. I think I like this one better.
I like this concept quite a lot. Here's a very interesting one that I wanted to talk about because this is really against type for us. Mm-hmm. Because this is a 3D anime.
Oh, I'm already on my back. I'm already on the balls of my feet here. I'm backstepping.
I know, but check this shit out, because instead of an anime that is being produced in 3D, this is an anime that began as a one-person short 3D film that you can go and watch on YouTube. This is called Ginga Tokyo Milky Subway, which is based on the short Milky Highway, which went like crazy big on YouTube because it fucking rocks. It's like cool as hell. And the animation is like one person did this entire thing and it looks fucking great. It's one of those things that this happens all the time. You'll see a thing on, Instagram or Twitter or whatever, and it's like, one person made this fucking thing? That's fucking crazy. I wonder if they'll ever end up doing anything. And they never do. You never hear about that person before. It's just one of those cases where, like, post-internet, you just see somebody who makes, like, a transcendent piece of art and then just disappears forever. Except this person actually got, somehow, against all odds, like, rewarded for their hard effort and taste and talent. And their short is being made into like a full series.
Nice.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
I mean,
as hell.
you love to see it happen.
You love to see it happen. And I think they're, maybe because this is originally 3D to begin with, which I think is probably for the best when you're making a 3D project. I think this looks good. I do not think this looks bad like other 3D anime. I think this fucking looks good. I'm very excited.
I'll have to check that out.
You gotta go. Just go watch the short. I'll watch the short. It's fucking great.
Taking a quick sidestep, speaking of 3D anime, did you see that announcement for the new Gundam spin-off movie coming out?
Another one? Shit,
yeah,
I guess
yeah,
not.
they're doing a 3D animated Gundam movie called Mobile Suit Gundam Hathaway.
Well, Gundam Hathaway is already a thing.
Well, they're coming out with a movie for it.
It was already a movie. Are you sure you're not thinking of the Gundam Hathaway, the movie that came out like years ago? Maybe you've seen the sequel of Gundam Hathaway 2, perhaps, which was supposedly being developed for a long time.
You know what? I think I am thinking of the sequel announcement.
Yeah, because Gundam Hathaway came out way back when, like 2021, and was like really crazy good and was supposedly supposed to be part of an entire series, but the sequels never manifested. It's actually a continuation of one of the original Mobile Suit Gundam stories from like way back when. I think it was based on Hathaway's Flash, which was like like a fucking one of the 80s Gundam spinoffs. So this was kind of like one of the retro throwback ones, bringing back characters from the original. Hathaway was sort of like a post original Gundam run, which was very cool. I did not see that part 2 was being released, so that is very fucking cool.
All right. All right. So back to summer 2025, confirmed anime.
Confirmed
anime, 100% happening.
Confirmed.
You told me about this last time, and I went in and looked into it a little bit. You know how I love a good culinary showdown in anime and manga.
Oh, yeah.
We've got Fermat's Kitchen coming out.
Fermat's Kitchen. Whoa.
Like Food Wars, but without the softcore pornography every other scene.
Hey, we don't know. We don't know that.
Hey, well, you know what? We don't know that. They could be inserting some stuff in there.
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't read the manga.
No, this is based on the manga about the people have kitchen competitions in some format.
Top Chef.
And our main guy uses advanced trigonometry and science math to make the categorically best food, numerically the best.
He makes spaghetti using the golden spiral, the golden ratio.
So I don't know. Food anime. I love me some food anime. I'll check it out. Definitely looking forward to that one. I know very little about it going in, but the trailer looked like it had some decent animation in it. And I want to see what's going on there.
Yeah, and you don't know anything about math, so this will all be new to you.
I have no idea about math. How do numbers work, man?
Who fucking knows? Let's see. There's a couple more series. Some of the shorter ones, like Pokemon Concierge Part 2 is coming out. I don't know if I need to say too much about that. That first one was really crazy good.
Yeah, it's
awesome.
awesome.
The story is as banal as you can get. It's just like people running one of those Pokemon daycares. That's not even original within the world of Pokemon anime.
Oh, no. I don't get an amazing, epic journey with my Pokemon story. Like, come on.
Well, hey, look, I don't need that. I'm just saying there's literally also already been series about Pokemon daycares, but the needle felt stop motion animation is fucking insane. It is bonkers insane, and it looks incredible.
Yeah, no, it looked great. I love that style.
If it's the same level of quality for the second season, then this is unmissable.
By all accounts, it is going to be, so definitely check it out. There's some other ONA stuff coming out that I'm unfamiliar with. I assume Cat's Eye is an adaptation of the Stephen King film and short story.
Oh, sure. Yeah, the Mick Garris adaptation.
Yep. The first Mick Garris anime to come out.
Yeah, it'll be great. I wonder, do you think there's been other Drew Barrymore anime? How many times has Drew Barrymore been turned into an anime girl?
I would have to say at least 3. Totally guessing there, but that's what my gut tells me.
I know there's never been a direct anime adaptation of Firestarter, but obviously there's been many indirect adaptations of Firestarter. Psychic girls are all over the fucking place in anime. I wonder if any of them were based on Drew Barrymore.
Well, I mean, obviously, the Agni from Fire Punch was based off of Drew Barrymore. That's undeniable.
Sure, yeah, of course. This Cat's Eye thing is really interesting because we are in the middle of sort of a Lupin renaissance. We're getting the first 2D animated Lupin movie in a long time pretty soon, and it looks really good. That being said, I did like that last 3D Lupin. It was much, much better than it needed to be. It's really good. But it's exciting to have a 2D one. And like I mentioned a while back, I watched that live-action City Hunter movie, which was almost really good if they had just like tuned down like a little bit of like his 80s personality, which is very anachronistic in the modern day. But, it's fine. It's sort of like, what if John Wick had more of like a visual identity and personality?
Yeah.
It was pretty good. And that live action Jigen movie as well. So the Cat's Eye is fitting into like that kind of oeuvre, except this is a Disney production.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not sure how I feel about that.
Yeah, which we might have mentioned a while back, but I've always been a little baffled by that. Disney decided that Cat's Eye is one of the things to bring back, even though this is sort of, again, in that sort of like 80s mold, 80s anime mold, which tended to be sort of like, raunchy in a way that you wouldn't always associate with Disney. I don't know how I feel about it. I like that they're trying to do an homage to the 80s anime style, but at the same time, it does feel a little bit like Sailor Moon Crystal, where maybe it's going for authenticity over like aesthetic detail, perhaps. I don't know. I'm iffy on this one.
All right. Well, we've basically exhausted everything that I'm personally looking forward to this season. So if you just want to run through what you got left on this list.
Okay. Sure. I'll wrap us up. There are a couple of a handful more things to mention.
Okay.
In this run. This is another Disney one that I thought was worth mentioning. It's called Bullet Bullet. Again, I don't know how much like Disney is involved here, and I don't know much about E&H Productions. They're the ones that did that weird cat ramen show, and Ninja Kamui, which is like a little weird to me. But the trailer looked pretty interesting. Interesting enough that I thought, like, I'm definitely going to give it a shot, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I would say go and watch this trailer because, I don't know, it's like there's weird energy here.
Speaking of unrelated to this season, but Ninja Kamui also just got re-upped for a season 2 on Netflix. So we've got more of that to look forward to.
Oh, yay.
Yay.
That's great. We've also got, and we've talked about this one a little bit in the past, I think, but we talked about Virgin Punk a little while ago, right?
Yeah.
By Yasuomi Umetsu, the guy who's infamous for Kite. He's got a new movie coming out after, like, I think a fairly long time. When was the last time that dude put out a movie?
When was the last time he put out a movie?
2018. Yeah, 28. He worked on a Bungo Stray Dogs movie, which, goddamn,
okay.
I fucking hate Bungo Stray Dogs. But he's done a lot of pretty solid work on other people's projects. And Virgin Punk, bad name. Considering the guy's past, I'm pretty iffy on the entire story and premise. But the animation is undeniable. Like, just give it a few seconds and you'll be like, okay, yeah, this is worth giving a little bit of attention to. And that's like out really, really soon, supposedly. So keep your eye on that. I think I'm absolutely jumping that as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
In the movie department, we've also got, and this is I'm not excited about, but it's worth mentioning because it's going to be absolutely fucking massive. Demon Slayer Infinity Castle movie is coming out soon. This is the one I'm very excited about in that I think the fans are going to lose their fucking shit over this because we are now racing towards the end of Demon Slayer, which is, if anybody is actually familiar with the manga, putting it controversial would be putting it lightly. From the fan perspective, I'm very excited to see how people lose their shit over the coming events in the Demon Slayer universe. I've been excited since day one, and everything's finally coming to a head. I'm very excited. Let's see. We have the aforementioned Leviathan. This is a short series.
Right.
Apparently like a World War I alt history thing, which may or may not be steampunk.
It's always steampunk. It's always steampunk.
Probably going to be steampunk. But this is from the Beastars studio, so it's worth mentioning because they've done some pretty interesting work recently. Then again, they also did that fucking Trigun Stampede show.
Sure. Yeah, they're kind of like the 3D animation people, right?
Yeah, I mean, Beastars isn't super 3D. There's some 3D in there for sure, but it looked good for what it is. It looked like an anime. Trigun Stampede, not so much. That is just 3D. Not happy about that.
Speaking of, you know what I just learned that blew my mind? Beastars, the manga. You know that's written by the son of Keisuke Itagaki, the Baki guy?
No, I did not know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, that manga was created by his son.
That is so wild. That dude is really interesting. He has a currently running series that I've read a couple issues of about a woman who gets into a BDSM relationship with the ghost that's haunting her apartment.
Dope.
Yeah, that's a wild one, man. It's really weird. It's really weird. You think it's just going to be like a mindless, like horny thing, but it actually turns out to be like a pretty introspective exploration of like repressed sexuality in a loveless marriage, which is just wild. Just wild. Fuck, I can't remember the name of that one. I think if you just search BDSM horny ghost Beastars, you'll find it pretty quick. Let's see, what else is mentionable? These are all kind of the dregs here. We've reached the end. There's one called Detectives These Days Are Scary, which I thought was mentionable because it's detectives. You know how I feel about detectives. But also, this is essentially ripping off one of the newer Kendaichi Files series, where this is one of my more I think one of the more interesting newer Kendaichi Files runs, because it's not like a Neo Kendaichi Files where they just redo his teenage years. This is actually about like a 30-year-old Kendaichi who has given up on being a full-time detective because it actually sucks as a job.
It's so relatable.
Yeah, but people constantly like drag his ass back into cases when he's just trying to do like part-time work around town. Which I really like, because he's no longer like the cocky asshole like he was. He's really embarrassed to be a teen detective, a former teen detective, sort of like that Donald Glover movie.
Well, there was a different. It's a common theme. There's another non-Donald Glover movie called Boy Detective that's like about this 30-year-old kind of a fuck up dude who's like trying to be taken seriously as a real detective, and people keep coming to him with like, can you help me find my lost cat kind of cases. And then he gets caught up in an actual like murder conspiracy investigation and quickly realizes he is like so far outside of his ability and comfort zone. And the humor comes from him realizing that he's like not actually a good detective.
Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of the opposite of that, because obviously Kendaichi is an incredible detective. He's very good, but he has now become very reluctant, not just because like everything that happened to him in the original run was awful. Like if you really take the large, like the zoomed out picture of his teen years, it is just horrible tragedy after horrible tragedy. Everywhere he goes, like people that he knows are being murdered. His friends and teachers and stuff are all getting murdered constantly. And he's like becoming more and more paranoid that his best friend is going to get murdered like at any second, because they keep like sending him messages like, hey, I've gotten invited to the murder castle for the weekend. I'm going to go. I'll let you know how it goes. And he's like, no, do not go to the murder castle.
Hey, don't go there.
Yeah. And now he's an old guy and he's like estranged from all those people. And he's like, man, everything in my life has really fucking sucked because I tried to be a detective. And then, fate draws him back in, no matter how much he hates it. So I really like that series. And this is essentially that. It's a guy who's in his 30s and his detective agency fucking sucks. And he used to be a great detective, but now he just doesn't want to do it anymore because it sucks as a job. And like, some high school girl comes in and is like, hey, I need you to solve a case. I need you to like be a good detective again. And he's like, fuck, I guess I got to do this, which I have a weak spot for. Let's see. Couple more. We've got Hotel Inhumans. This is, that John Wick spinoff about, not to bring him up again constantly, but this is that John Wick spinoff about the hotel. The Hotel for Assassins, that is all, it is like central to the entire John Wick mythos.
Okay, yes, you pay with the fancy gold coins.
Yeah, you have to pay with coins, and it's like neutral ground or whatever. This is that. It's just that.
It's just that, okay.
Yeah, it's literally
Assassination
just
Hotel.
That.
I assumed that it was going to be some kind of hotel for monsters or yokai of some kind, but no, it's metaphorical inhuman.
Yeah.
They're killers.
They're killers, man. Trained killers. Yeah, so that's like, okay. You know what? Fine. All right. That's probably the best part of John Wick, to be honest. Let's see. Two more. We've got Kamitsubaki City Under Production, which is sort of like a futuristic horror about a witch girl.
More witches.
There are 5 witch girls.
Season of the Witch, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. So I wanted to mention another witch show. There are 5 witches and they have to like fight off monsters in like a future post-apocalypse, which is kind of fun. Witches. We gotta throw out the witches. The animation looks cool too, so it's worth at least watching the trailer for again. And more witches, of course. And then finally, something that I want to believe is about witches. I'm just assuming they're witches. This one's called 9: Ruler's Crown, about a girl who lives in a town that picks up a bunch of tourism because it essentially gets twilighted. Somebody writes an incredibly bad but like very popular anime that's like set in their sleepy Seattle town. It's not Seattle, but you know what I mean. And so tourists keep going there until eventually like they break the local shrine and a bunch of people get witch powers. And they have to use their witch powers to stop a serial killer.
Oh, I thought they were going to have to use their witch powers to get rid of all the tourists.
To kill all the tourists.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's another anti-foreigner show. So wrapping it up with 2 more witch shows. We've got Season of the Witch continues.
Hell yeah, baby. Season of the Witch.
Yeah. Who knows if this one's going to be worth anything, but I do like the idea of witches versus serial killer. I'm okay with that. I could live with that.
Oh, man. So that's summer 2025, upcoming anime in summer of 2025. Man, boy, are we eating just a little bit better than last season.
Shit. And I skipped Hell Teacher, but whatever. Hell Teacher is just another like geeky. It's a remake of an old popular 80s series about like the precursor to like Great Teacher Onizuka.
Okay.
Except Hell Teacher is like, well, he's a hell teacher. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory, right?
Yeah.
He's a badass hell teacher from hell. And he teaches kids how to like grow up and be cool, I guess, is one way to describe it.
Man, I wish I had a teacher like that when I was in school. I wish someone taught me how to be cool.
Yeah, it would have been great.
If they had, I wouldn't have an anime podcast.
I know, right? If you had met a teacher who had like a demon that lived in his left arm and he could like make people cool by teaching them life lessons, you would be a good person. But unfortunately, that never happened, and now you're you. How unfortunate. But this was a super popular series in the 80s or maybe early 90s. I can't quite remember. And I think it's cool that some of that older stuff is being revived so that people know about older stuff, because we are in a bad place. And maybe revisiting some of the older stuff kind of like rekindle some of that original energy. I don't know.
That's funny that you say that, because we were just talking about how our generation is poisoned by nostalgia.
I know. But you've never heard of Hell Teacher, so you can't have nostalgia for it.
That's true. That's the loophole.
Yeah.
Hey, we found a cheat code.
That's the only way. It's the only way forward.
All right. Beautiful, handsome, tall listeners. Thank you again for sticking around to us just mindlessly going over a list of everything coming out in this coming season. I hope you watch this stuff.
Now you know.
Now you know.
This is the most educational thing we do on the show.
Hey, you have to arm yourself with knowledge out there, people. It's the only way to survive. Go acquire our knowledge further from the TikToks and our Blue Sky and the socials and Instagram and blah, blah, blah. Do the stuff. Give us likes.
Stuff.
Give me likes. Give me likes.
Do some reviews. If you're even hearing our voices, please just like leave a review somewhere.
Leave a comment. Anything.
It is the biggest driver of like algorithmic surfacing. And we don't want to continue doing sock puppet bullshit. It makes me feel bad inside.
Yeah. Okay. Well, with that said, until next time.
All right.
Bye.
Oh boy.